Sebastian saves the same amount of money each week as shown in the table. Let W represent the number of weeks that Sebastian saves. Let T represent the total amount saved in dollars. Enter an equation that represents the relationship between the number of weeks Sebastian saves and the total amount of money saved. So let's go ahead and take a look at the equation again, or this problem, and we're going to focus on those couple bullet points. Let's focus on the first bullet point. It says let W represent the number of weeks that Sebastian saves. So here's number of weeks, and notice what's happening. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So we know that there's always an increase. It's increasing by 1 as we go down. You keep on adding 1, it gets the next number. What's happening to the note? Let's look at the other side. Let's focus on the total amount saved, which is T. And the total amount saved, we know we have 15, 30, 45, and 60. Is there a pattern that we notice? Well, each time this side's increasing by 15, and 30 plus 15, that gives us 45, and 45 plus 15 equals 60. So every time we increase by 15. So let's see if we can predict how much money we would have if there was, let's say, 5 weeks. 5 weeks, we would go 60 plus 15, and that was equal to 75. But is there another way to predict it? Well, what if we just take this idea of increasing by 15, and it looks like repeated addition, which is like multiplication. So 1 times 15 we know equals 15. 2 times 15 equals 30. 3 times 15 equals 45. And 4 times 15 equals 60. Going down to our 5, pretend and extending the table, 5 times 15 equals 75. So we know that works. If it was 10 weeks, 10 times 15 would equal 150. Or 20 times 15 would equal 300. But suppose we had W, because that's what this column represents. Suppose it's W. Well, if we follow our pattern with W, it's going to be W times what? 15, and that's going to equal the amount of money saved, and that amount of money saved is going to be T. So this is our general equation. So here's our equation. So one way we could write this is W times 15 equals T. We could also write it as 15 times W equals T. Another way we can write it is not use the multiplication sign. And so this right here would be W multiplied by 15 equals T, or W15 equals T. Many ways to write this. Likewise, this would be 15 times W, we can use a dot, equals T, or 15W equals T. So what are we going to enter? I would suggest this. I would suggest you could do 15 times W equals T. You could also do W times 15 equals T. And we can use W15 equals T, or 15W equals T. Many different ways in which we could enter an amount or enter an equation that represents what? The relationship between the number of weeks Sebastian saves, which is W, and the total amount of money saved, and that amount is T.